My friends, I, you know what's fascinating to me? I spent so many years in this. I, I started training 70 years ago. I know the body. I know how I was the first man, for you that don't know, that developed 21-inch muscular biceps, no steroids. Because I got hurt, I would have got into the, now I'm not going to lie to you, I would have got into the steroids if I didn't get mangled up in a motorcycle. But when I was training, they didn't have steroids. And when I saw guys getting freaky looking that I knew that regular training doesn't do, I said, what's going on? Because I was like out of the really pushing because, competition was over for me. And but the point that gets me, oh boy, you guys don't know. I got a lot of feeling. That's one of I got so much feeling for guys that's looking for answers, guys that want to grow. Because I did that. I went through all that. And I know that hunger. And when I see now with all this proliferation of drugs and things, how they're trying to export this out and they're destroying more bodybuilders than they could ever produce. Now, oh boy, sometimes I get annoyed at myself because I got so much. You get older, and you get so much. I get so much empathy for people. There's so many guys out there pushing that stuff. Now, in any case, I'm more riled up, but I should be calmer. I should be calmer, but I got so much feeling. I got so much feeling for you guys. You know why? Because I grew up with you. I know how it is when you're 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I know what it is. I know what you go through. And I'm not talking about just a young fellow, even the older guys that are looking to get back into shape. I know what it is. And that's why when I see these guys telling you things that they don't know what, they're so busy selling themselves and pretending they know, they don't. And let me tell you, they don't. And if you follow them, you destroy yourself. I mean it. I'm telling you from experience, you can't buy experience. Experience is priceless. There's no price on experience. And I'm not one of these guys that's reading books and telling you what to do. I experience all this. Now, the first guy I got annoyed with that said you can't overtrain, he didn't have anybody at all. I mean, he was ridiculous. This guy named C.T. Fletcher, one of my, I got a comment and a couple of emails on him. What do I think about him? Now, he's got the look. Those huge muscles, they're all steroids, my friend. And that's why he cannot relate to people that's not using them, saying you cannot overtrain. You basically almost cannot overtrain with steroids. Well, I mean overtrain. I mean, you could do with a man that doesn't take steroids, can't possibly do. Why do you think these ball players and athletes runners take it? Because it gives you more, but it doesn't work with the body, it works outside the body. And I'm telling you, he pulled his arm up and his huge arm, he's just 22. Hey, let him stop taking those steroids and see what it goes that break down to. And you can see the density. You go to a contest today and you look at all these guys, you can't tell who, you gotta look hard to see who's who, because they're all loaded with the drugs today. But what angers me with these guys, they'll never tell you they're taking steroids. They try to pretend that they're just in the gym training. I know what a steroid body is because I had the experience. I talked to all the guys. I mean, Tom Platz destroyed himself physically with steroids. Larry Scott, all these guys. He's talking about the size on Tom Platz. How come there never was that kind of size on any bodybuilder before the drugs? The body hasn't changed. The drugs is what's changed. And they got designer drugs. I had talked to bodybuilders. I don't want to give their names because I talked to them all. Not all, but I talked to a lot of the guys heavy on steroids. Your joints go on you, your knees, your internal organs go on you, your balls shrink to marbles, all to stand up in the mirror and say, look at me. Bodybuilders are supposed to be for health, not for strutting around, drawing attention. I got now Fletcher, I think his name is Fletcher. He's got the look and all the big arms, the veins. If you notice when you see my arms, they're huge, but they're not veiny. Those veins come from the steroids. And he's telling you can't overtrain. He can't relate to regular training because he's loaded with steroids. I am a very famous bodybuilder. I don't want to mention names because I mean I love these guys. Any guy lift weights I love. I just don't want these guys exporting steroid use because guys that are normal, that go to the gym and try to duplicate what these guys, and they're not going to tell you to take steroids. They'll kill themselves. I talked to bodybuilders that's heavy on steroids, and they told me they train the same muscle twice in the same day. The body will not, it's not designed to do that. And then when I hear this guy Fletcher talking about marathon and triathlon, all these kind of athletes, they're not putting heavy demands on their muscles. They're not lifting heavy weights. These guys they swim, they do all kinds of ground climb, but they're not putting tremendous stress on their muscles, which demands recovery and massive amounts of protein. They're not in that vein. And to compare them, that's what these guys, they don't know, they don't have the full knowledge of the body to understand it. And he's trying to tell you how they're responding to their training. Yes, tell him to stop taking those steroids. And if he says he's not taking them steroids, I can tell you right now, he's a damn liar. I know what a steroid body is. And I laughed when he took that 22-inch arm. Hey, 22-inch arms. Let's see how big they'd be when taking steroids. The difference between him and this other fellow, at least he has this huge body that'll draw your attention. And you know, he's working out. I'm not knocking him for that. He's busting his balls. I mean, you just don't take steroids and sit around and look at television. But to say you cannot overtrain goes against all of the physiology of the body. As I said before, you heard them say boxers, because I dealt with boxers, I managed one. I was James Toney's nutritionist. He's a difficult guy to get along with, but he couldn't go over 5 rounds because he didn't have the recovery. The recovery is a thing. You heard of fighters left their fight in the gym because they train too hard. You see, and these guys get the wrong attitude that they can train day and night because they're taking these drugs. It's giving you that feeling of, you know, omnipotent. You just omnipotent. You know, you can do anything. That's what the drugs do. But they're not for guys. 99.9% of you guys aren't interested in those kind of bodies. They don't serve any purpose to me because they're not geared to health. Now, the thing that gets me with CT is that he's trying to export this as what you should be doing. No. It's just like a guy get high on heroin and say, man, I feel good, you won't take it. Hey, oh man, I don't want the after effects of the heroin. And steroid use will break you down. These guys are telling you that these guys that use the heavy steroids, none of them has reached my age. They fall apart, their joints go, their hearts go. The body was not designed to use these drugs like they do. And it's a misservice to the bodybuilders I love. And I love you guys, you know why? Because I feel it. I went through the graduation. I went to the hunger to find out what can I do to build better. But at that time, they didn't have any drugs. Thank God they didn't, because I would be like a CT, you know, I would probably be dead. Because I was so gravitated by training and by building. I would have drank rhinoceros pee if they thought you make muscle. That's how involved I was. When I got my ankle severed, the best thing happened to me because I wouldn't be able to talk to you and give you guys the experience and wisdom that I had. Please, I have nothing against CT. He's doing his thing. Some of those words he used not necessary, but that's his bag. He gets a lot of hits from it. The thing is, do not try to export anybody to say you cannot overtrain. I mean, it makes me cry almost. because he doesn't know you can overtrain. And of course, it's individual. Of course, one guy can do 3 sets and be washed out, another guy do 5. But you got to give the body time to recuperate. And the drugs, even with the drugs, I talk to these guys, they need time to recuperate. I mean, I talk to a lot of these steroid guys, I mean, because they're loaded. I mean, so many of them now. And what is the purpose? To stand on the stage, you got to look hard to see who's who, because they all got the same muscle development. In my day, as I said all along, all the bodies were natural. You could put your finger on the face of each bodybuilder and identify them by their bodies. You can't do that today. Look at these guys, you got to look hard to see who's who. And it's not helping the vast majority of, especially growing guys are growing up. The older guys probably can pick up that that's not for them. But the younger fellas that's looking for something. And you look at this guy CT and see these huge arms, and they fantasize maybe they get that. Buddy, even if you can get it, what for? And if you can get it, the price you have to pay with destroying your body, destroying your internal organs, your joints, to get there, it doesn't make any sense. What are you trained for? You train to get a natural body that the body can support. You build up what you call muscle priority, something that won't kill you. This stuff will destroy you. I'm telling you, you should see all of the bodybuilders that's younger than me, better bodies than I had. But they use the drugs. Serge Newberry, Sergio Oliva, all these guys dead. They're all dead. And I'm still here trying to inform you fellas, stay when you see these huge guys, those huge muscles with the veins, stay away from them. Stay away. When they tell you how to train, don't do it. That's of course if you just want to die early and you're not going to get like these guys. Don't think just because you take steroids, you're going to get like he is. All you're going to do is destroy your health. So don't get the idea, oh, I do what CT does, and I'll get like him. No, you won't. No, you won't. The only reason I'm doing this, I got nothing against CT. I don't got nothing against none of these guys. I really don't give a shit. I just hate to see this kind of information put out when you don't know what you're talking about. Sure, overtraining is individualized, but to an extent. Of course, one guy can do more than the other. But what are we talking about? He's talking about building your muscles. And that's an entirely different endeavor than long walks and like the soldiers do. That's an entirely different endeavor. You're not putting great demands on the muscle. Okay, I had to do this. Sometimes I say to myself, what the hell's the matter with you, Leroy? But I just happen to go through, I do this late at night, go through my comments and my emails, and I said, oh, there's another one. I didn't think anybody else, I don't hear that around to anybody to know what they're talking about, but he doesn't. And disregard that stuff. He may take you how to do a curl or something, but disregard that stuff when he tell you you cannot overtrain because you'll burn out. I see it all the time. That's why, quickly I'll tell you, I have a friend, he has a gym. He said if everybody showed up at his gym that he signed up, they'd be standing in the hallway. Because he knows that they go in, they try to build up overnight, they burn out, they don't come back. That's why he makes you sign a year contract. Because he said month to month, they come in 1 or 2 months and find out they're worn out half the day, they don't come back. Because they're not recovering. And the key to everything is recovery. To be continued.